You don't know these streets like we do.
One of the stage attention a National Theatre, and the state of the National Theatre as we speak. Now, the National Theatre, the back story is that the National Theatre was a gift by the Chinese government to Ghana. That is in 1992. And Ghana happened on, I think, on the 30th of December 1992. But they started building the theater in 1990. So it took them like 2 years for the thing to be complete, and then it was handed over to the Ghanaian government for usage. Now, a year, 3 days ago, like before the weekend, there was a public accounts committee hearing. The Deputy Minister for Tourism, Arts and Culture, Yankasa Bra, former and as a current still Sleep Music CEO, Honorable Okraku Mantey. And then there were questions being thrown at him, and I think the last question before he left was on the state of the National Theatre. And the submission on he gave some wild submission. Emma, people are now wondering whether to believe him or not to believe him, because there are so many holes in there. Or say, they've tried their possible best to get the Chinese government involved for support. Now, reason why they did that is because the technology that they used in constructing the theater is outmoded. And Omu believe we say they've tried reaching out to other parts of the world to get Niemano to fix, and Niema say to fix back, right? But they believe say China put a bit more, but because the Chinese envoy, the ambassadors, they keep changing them on a regular basis, it's hard to establish contact and also maintain the contact in order for the job to be done. Also, one part of kind of very wild and say the state of the National Theatre is not as bad as is being reported out there. But it is also an impaying form using National Theatre. Meaning to be akasa. I think on the morning show on Daybreak it's Mene Fifi Coleman. I mean, he's a regular, patron of the place. Yeah, he's a playwright and also an actor. And he uses the National Theatre virtually every month. He play and he tells me that there are parts of the National Theatre silly niliki, like it leaks in so leaky bem. To George Quay, also known as Abuaje, a taxi driver series. He used to work with
former VGM APR.
Yes. Now CEO of Image Bureau. And also Tro Play, and he's also a playwright and also a regular, user of the facility. He also had a different view, and the only view, as people want to drag him because they feel that how he talked about it previously and how he's talking about it now as an NCC, so they feel that there are some inconsistencies within George Quay's submission with respect to National Theatre, because you will be an uncle bomb or place na say but as a no ye kakra say ebi no kasa na bi obi ben na na bibisa, but then the tintin ni tietie nyina mu say facility na say facility no o show ho it was a one kasa akopel standby generator ba, because if the power goes out, the only backup generator that they have has the capacity to power only the stage. And the rest of the auditorium is left. And there's no window National Theatre because it's a theater and then they want to keep the sound rich and pure. Window be anyhow. The central air conditioning, however, also has an issue because they've been using it for virtually about 30 years. The central air conditioning of the National Theatre, enough to even blow. So in recent time, they got, I think, Omako taught friends saying air conditioners, bear 6B abaho. Yeah. Like 6 pieces be abaho. But no crown to fix it, they can't fix it. So now the question is, he has seen, okay, let me not say that he has seen. He knows that the contract between Ghana and China, when they were handing over the National Theatre to us, maintenance was also a part of it. Maintenance of the facility. Ompeso Muchim say was also a part of it. 2, if it was a part of it, why then is the deputy minister telling us say they've tried getting part of the Niemo Muhia from other countries. Say me the car amount, right? Na car na me the amount no. Me say me ana me sa maintain ni amawa. Say ya me kobusa aboso kan for some more part. Enya what am afraid. Ana me boa.
Yeah, so interesting. I have had the opportunity to host series of events over there. My host to Folkless Media Awards. I have done some other events, including recently Lewin, a country called Ghana. Now, share the caliber of people you invite here and what is supposed to represent our most state-of-the-art theater that represent, because we say we go free. National theater is supposed to serve multifunctional creative purposes.
Yeah.
Almost it is our most premium auditorium for anything that revolves around the outside of creative art. I know the architecture of that internal, I was saying on a regular Ghana and we grab so question in this one and tourist site. But it's pathetic.
I'm for question.
National maker say theater baby even anka how I wasn't even on a day that nothing is transpiring in the auditorium, people should be able to go there and do sightseeing, take photographs, and then feel proud. Say, "Omako baby, sir." But why do you think no one feels the air to patronize there if there's no show? I have had the opportunity to go the backstage. We were backstage. Now we share and na dey be backstage honor. It feels like that the very backstage, main stage is on the backstage. I don't know how the place is so unkempt and it's so disarranged that you just don't know how. I don't know, say maintenance. I feel say the very Honorable Michael Keku's position now should be understandable. At this point in time, you don't expect someone who speaks on party ticket to admit in simple terms like how you guys want him to admit, say, we have a problem. No. That is, he's talking on the ticket of a party he represents, and it will be the highest form of betrayal. Remember, Honorable Michael Keku in history has been one of the most vocal people in the industry before his assumption of office. And on any day, if he wasn't a part of this government or in government, and he would have, I know obviously would have led this aluta against maintenance of the narcotics. I don't know, recently I've heard that they've changed the carpet on the floor.
Charlie.
You should have seen that one. Look at common capital. Are we waiting for Chinese government
exactly
to come and change something as simple and common as a carpet? We are expecting Chinese government to come and fix broken chairs. Are we expecting? No, but look, if you see the colossal sum of monies that are being channeled into unresourceful or non-resourceful ventures, but something that has a national pride or it's a symbol of national pride or it's a go-to place for any foreigner when they come here, they want to enjoy anything creative as national theater, and we are waiting on Chinese government to do something, but then the same government that told us to fix ourselves, not everything that is about the government, we the citizens are supposed to fix ourselves, is now telling us that they are waiting on a higher power or a higher economic power to come and do rudimentary things that we ourselves will benefit. This is the cheapest and most disappointing form of political talk I've ever witnessed.
Charlie.
But you can't blame the man. I mean, come on, he has his job to defend. He has a cause to defend. So there's no way he thinks speaking that at this point in time, Honorable feels that speaking the truth is a stab in his party's back. And so he is no more the Honorable Michael Keku that we know. And it's okay. But what I want to say is, as someone who has hosted a couple of events there, this cannot symbolize a national architecture that we can walk chest up and shoulder high. A whole Ghana has this edifice. As look, and you see, moving forward to I don't know. We are not. I don't think no one has called that they should demolish the building and then rebuild a new one. No one has called that. But we are saying that there are certain things beyond that architecture you see. There are things that keep people magnetized to the place. Ventilation, something as basic as ventilation. I mean, come on, this is a place that gets people filled to the capacity to enjoy things that need high level of ventilation to keep them comfortable. And you will bake when you are in the National Theatre and you have the capacity up to even 1,000. You see people start baking. Is that pathetic,
bro?
When you are on the stage as an MC and you go backstage, it feels like you are going to be a casualty to a falling rod. The sound system, even the sound system in the auditorium, the output is so abysmal. You feel like it's tone okra. You feel like tone obina. When today the kind of an and the sophistication of how plays are being organized or theatric stuff are being organized, there's a lot more things that they need to. So I understand for patrons and for someone like my senior brother George Quay. You know, you see, come the war. Recently,
Unimpata Boston Adrian was Adi winning now. Now the deputy minister is in front of the Public Accounts Committee saying he said they don't have money, they don't have budget for this thing. This National Theatre, a symbol na back in time, na edda isikaso. Na edda isikaso. I think it was on the 5,000 and even the 1,000 Ghana cedis. Just check on some of these old notes. It was a symbol, a national symbol. Now the fact that I don't and Adiabakwe Boston Adrian Kesiye Power. The grant that we got from World Bank, a $12.5 million grant, of which 2.5 million was set aside to build amphitheaters across the country. Now my question is, why go for another piece of land and invest $500,000 into building a new amphitheater, whilst that same amount of money can be used to refurbish the old one? How do you convince me?
Half of that. Have you ever engaged someone who has patronized the place and how much they charge for every 2 hours? I am saying that if we had a supervisory board that was straight on the board that manages the facility, we wouldn't be here having this conversation. I am sure the problems stems from the central government to the local people that manages the facility. I have engaged the place on behalf of Wizzy Empire, and I'm saying that even when you delay an extra 30 minutes, you are going to pay not less than 13,000 to offset that 30 minutes. There is an amount you pay. You pay aside so that they refund if nothing in the place is spoiled or something. That is a contingency, whatever. I'm saying that the internally generated fund that is accrued from using the facility alone, given the space of and the frequency of patronage, can handle every maintenance and facelift of the place without relying on these colossal sums that they are talking about.
I'm for to this kind, and I can say this. Some of these things or politics, we've groomed a lot of dishonest people in this country. Once honorable people, very very honorable people. I know many more. You ferry many politics in tea. I expose almost so much that we can now at every single breath tell them our peace of mind, and we will be right. Logically, we will be right, because if Honorable sat on Love FM in Kumasi and told us that there's going to be an amphitheater built at a cultural center and they were going to complete it last year July. No, maybe in the last year July. And now I say too. In the MPP's manifesto, they were saying that they were going to also refurbish
cultural center.
The cultural center Jabrim was also going to be refurbished. And I'm sitting here, same situation as Accra. Why start a project that the money cannot complete?
Because you and I have made the mistake of vouching for someone we thought was part of us and so was going to represent our interests. And Honorable is gradually becoming a case study that, so all this while we have been pushing that in order to get our agenda through, we have to get someone who has been part of our industry, understand our plight, and can push our agenda better. But guess what? He went in there and had divided attention. Not because maybe he didn't have the interest of the creative art at heart, but he went to push a personal agenda for parliamentary seats. And so his attention was divided. Maybe next time we have to make sure that whoever we are trying to call on the government to choose to represent us would have to tell us that they don't have any other vested political interest apart from the agenda of the creative arts. Because remember, at a point in time, the time that Honorable had to push our agenda as creative people, he was busy concentrating on campaigning at the primary level to win parliamentary candidates on the ticket of MPP for his I don't know what
constituency.
No, so how do you expect someone who is a deputy minister who also has vested political interest in becoming an MP to still have the additional time to push through agenda? No. And he have fun to direct into his campaign. If he had not lost, then the situation would have been worse. Then this one, he wouldn't have made time for the Public Accounts Committee. We are not saying that our Honorable is incompetent. In fact, before his assumption of into office and before he declares partisan interest, we campaigned and vouched for him based on instances of leadership that he has provided in the industry, having one of the most successful record labels that you can boast of, having managed an urban stage entertainment station from the scratch and making it inarguably the toppest in Ghana. Based on this, we imbued so much confidence in him that and so based on that, the entire industry rallied behind him. Now I have seen people making the case of because he was not the main person, he is not able to push through the agenda. You see that
the same type of analysis.
I get it.
Baumia analysis ni biana moye no.
But I will say that Honorable, for some of us who really believed in him, I know that it has never been easy. But if you have not been able to tackle something as elementary as maintaining an already existing facility and giving it a facelift, how can we trust you with the volumes of promises that you are going to finish amphitheaters within a space of 4 months when we are election is just at
no, but are you living in denial? And I don't know can want to say. I don't know last year July no so be you. It's been more than a year. They said that they were going to complete the amphitheaters last year July. A year after and some months more, we've not heard them talk about it again. Everybody is busy and they are now promising new ones. So they are now
because
why?
Because our creatives have proven over the years that they are the most irrelevant material that matters to our political landscape as compared to other sectors. Because look at the seriousness. Look, even during our vetting of political appointees, especially the creative ministers, compare the kind of thought-provoking questions that is posed to an aspiring financial governor or an aspiring minister of finance, compared to the thought-provoking and in-depth questions that is posed when they are going for vetting to an Greek minister, and compared to that of the creative arts. We can even use like 10 minutes to finish their vetting because that sector is something they just want to. And she almost an aspiring minister of creative arts, what will you do so that tourism? I will establish boutique force. I will do this at Kintampo Waterford, blah blah blah. Then they laugh it over, then they brush it. It shows even from the onset of our vetting of our ministers and deputy ministers of creative arts. It's the first point of awakening that should have told us that the government doesn't place premium on our creative sector as equally as they place on others. Now, in electioneering season, what are we seeing? All that they know is to divide us. Okay, yes. This and for this. We have celebrities for NDC. We have celebrities for MPP.
Yeah.
It's no more common agenda. Recently, David Osei was on a political platform, yes, and then lied through his teeth that MPP has provided some facilities that are non-existent, bro. Non-existent. David Osei is talking about non-existent. As a creative person, you couldn't even give us assurance that you know Ghanaians are disappointed, but you representing the creative space in the NPP is going to make sure that some of the plight of the industry would be channeled. No, he went there, lied through his teeth through a written speech because he had to create a make-believe. So even if even if we choose not to have problem with celebrities having affiliations, we still are pained by the fact that they go there and their demeanor doesn't draw the interest of the industry. And so, we will come back to this conversation next 4 years. We will come back to this same old conversation next 4 years.
And I'm highly disappointed in some of the big people. And I have a lot of hope in them. So, but the
bigger question is, please, where does your being disappointment go?
No, but my being disappointment go to the polls. Because initially I was of the view, say, as a young man like myself, after, the disappointment I the current government. But then I realized that would be the biggest mistake for me to say I'm not going to vote. No. You have to go and vote for the next person.
We have to be part.
You have to be part. You have to exercise your franchise because if you do not vote, another group of people will go. Yes, another group of people will go. So, so that leads me to my next campaign. It's called Get Involved. Get Involved ever started very soon. We are going to listen to every single political party and what they have to say. You're be streaming it live on so we'll sit down with them and I'll talk to them on issues with respect to my sector that I belong to. And it has to be as intellectual as possible. So we are not going to mash parties into two, say be a MPP near NDC near way. No, we're not going to do that. A very different type of exercise. Oba be count dia unima the creative space, and let our people, my audience, let them call in, let them also ask you questions. This is one of the
smartest approach. I think this is going to be one of the smartest approach because anytime they organize this one, they call it IPAC, whatever they call it, presidential debate. They only put reference on finances, economy. Yeah. Now, this thing, when you are able to partner with people and there is an open where the backdrop is this time on the candidacy debate is going to revolve around strictly creative art. Then gets the world attention that they are going to discuss only creative art related matters.
Exactly.
Then people will start taking that serious. And any presidential debate centered on the economy, finance, agree that they go. So I think that there is a very good initiative that we all have to rally behind.
Creative arts,
Yes.
Because you can't tell me that a digital Baumia 7 years into power still doesn't understand or doesn't really value or wants to get involved the revenue sharing of artists and their royalties. I mean, how is that even possible? How? Why can't we have a digital way of getting artists can get a digital way of getting their money dispersed to them? How is this possible?
A plug-in system to make sure we are structuring a payout system for artists in terms of their how do we liaise with musical gamble and private royalty system.
Because when we talk of the creative sector, there's a large chunk of people that but they forget that they are also part of the creatives. At the PAM 4, even barbers.
Because Coachellawati Festival this week, Coachellawati Festival, go and see other parts of the creative sector that you don't even know that they exist. Coachellawati Festival, you will see varieties of people who, if we had them as an industry together, but then whose fault? Even if they put themselves together as an industry, they are insecure about relying on the government. Other than that, if there was any form of security, they could have joined this force. But individually, they feel they are better off than over-reliance on a government that has a non-existent structure. And so they would not want to risk it. If you go to Cherokee, you will see that creative arts is so broad that even we, the music and movie people,
we are just the movie music. We are just a small fraction of the creative.
Our fraction is so insignificant to what creative art is supposed to be, and the revenue generation sources that has been tapping in from these people too. For all you may know, movie and music may not even be the greatest contributor to creative art GDP.
Exactly.
All you may know, maybe artifacts no. So I think we have to widen the scope and understand it. There should be a lot of education that needs to be done as well.
Exactly, bro. Charlie, Medasi. German portfolio there. And I'm in the far 102 or radar. So somebody like myself, I mean, although say we be disappointed here, but Honorable Okraku Mantey there, Jack for more because he's one of the people that we all thought said. Or be deliver and then how will be deliver no crab be marvelous. Although I believe the MPP has performed well when it comes to the creative arts sector with the introduction of the year of return, beyond the return. These things are things that were done hand in hand with the creative arts ministry, and they've done extremely well in that field. But however, dealing with some of the issues pertinent to the challenges that it has not been that easy. I mean, for monies uni was scanner uni no when you be was spending on getting a new one, building a new facility. Meanwhile, the old ones needs renovation, and then you come and sit. The first time in history that we are hearing a government call on government to come and help, it's amazing. We had government calling on government to come and help. Government, if government so me. If you don't believe me, listen to this. Let me play it so that you actually listen to it.
Paragraph 1781, Honorable Yusuf.
Chairman, thank you. Chairman, the infraction relates to the renovation of the National Theatre. What is the state of it as we speak in terms of its renovation?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. It is good that the parliamentarians are asking this question because originally we wanted to get support from the Chinese government because they built the National Theatre for us, especially to do with technology. It's been so many years, and so some of the technology there are outmoded, and getting them from other countries was also difficult. And so it's been back and forth because they keep changing the ambassador and all of that. So we are still pursuing with the Chinese embassy, but if Ghana government would also help, I think it will be prudent in terms of budget to fix the National Theatre.
Minister, you are the Deputy Minister.
Yes, Honorable Chair.
And you are saying if you think if Ghana government can help, you should be the one with your ministry proposing to the president, okay, that is what you think should be done. So it's not for us here to tell you how that thing should be done. That's why you've been appointed as a deputy minister to help your minister to get this done. But the truth of the matter is that it's also as a result of lack of maintenance. That is why we've gotten to this level. Do you agree with me? And what maintenance regime have we put in place so that at least what we have wouldn't fall on us?
Generally, I think that they've done their bit as National Theatre to maintain the place. If you look at the number of years National Theatre has been in existence, if they hadn't done some work to maintain it, it wouldn't have been the way it is now. It is relatively not as bad as it's been created to the public. But again, if you look at how much they make and how much they will need to maintain the place, that is why I mentioned GOG. I only mentioned Parliament because it will definitely come to you, and sometimes you know how you cut down on our budget when they come. And that is why I said I was happy it was coming from Parliament. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Chairman, I think I have to defer to you, but I think it's a very strategic, if you like, facility that we shouldn't...
Facility na eda yesika so iconic to the extent that it's on our currency. It used to be on our currency before that image was taken out. That was the 2000 20,000 Ghana cedi note. The front had Ephraim Amomebwa, and then the back had the National Theatre. Something as iconic as this. And then, till date, we had a grant to help boost our tourism sector, because World Bank and everyone say, tourism destination, no. They say, some people are moving towards Africa, and the people are moving towards Ghana more. The year of return beyond the return, according to the Ghana Tourism Authority, has generated well over $3.5 billion as at this year. This year, last year, they calculated the 3.5 billion. It has grown steadily from 1 billion, about 2.5 billion. I think the last time, that was last year, was around 2.5, 2.6 billion revenue generated out of people coming into Ghana to celebrate the year of return and beyond the return. Near net boost, and $2.5 million allocated for theater. Osasi and San Francisco started project for. Yebusaya, Mose, you don't know say contract, contract in China for an until see a kobusom. Okay, if you believe that the technology is outmoded, meaning you have to advance it, right? So imagine, say, in the rare case, I'm just saying, Patromanu da Suna make us the same way. In the rare case, if the National Theatre had caught fire, right? Meaning say, okay, be renovate. Mebwa. Maybe a woman they renovate. How was that going to be done? Were you going to wait for the Chinese to come? You have afraid China. Oh, ratty. Charlie. In Kruma, Ghana. So sad, man. So sad. Some of the things, sometimes you wake up in this country and then you just pray, say, I'm about 12 still now you have peace of mind. Say Okraku Mantey, as I could Joy FM can say, Kwabna and also MPP, he became bigger. Same, Honorable Okraku Mantey. Intina, I'm asked this time now, like people are now very omopano because of politics and how they almost stands on certain things, And my to me a casa anyhow, and then you will be right to speak that way, which is not cool. I just pray that the upcoming generation, and I keep telling people, say, in Kwadano Mobano, we'll wake up one day on. All they will do is they will run a hashtag on social media, hashtag kill all foolish old people, and they will come and kill us all in our sleep. A reason will be one pay, because we failed to make sure, say, our future is guaranteed. Why are we traveling right now to other countries? Why are we doing that? I'm for crew and why are we doing that? We are going there because their grandfathers, they were working, they were thinking, and they were working. How? Once you when you once uncle brand yesko obia be mouse kase mon fanse tourism no na ekosora na matuama de nkakra kra mame wa mouse ko osase ska no me de ko start fufra iska ne nso up. Oh, how?
You don't know these streets like we do.
We show.